We've got NVIDIA's big week. We've got Warren Buffett's new stake. We've got the jobs data and the FOMC October notes ahead. This week is going to be huge. I'm going to be giving you the catalyst, the breaking news, and the technicals that can't be ignored this week. Welcome to Wall Street. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching the video. Take a minute, please hit that like for me. Drop a heart in the comments if you're brand new to your investment journey. I'd love to share that journey with you by sharing my passion for the charts and all things Wall Street. Hit that like and subscribe. Let's do it together. I have to highlight that today was another easy trading day in the Stocks with Josh Discord if you took the A+ scalp setups. What are those, Josh? Well, I chart 3 stocks every single morning, half an hour before the market opens, and I also put a bias in the notes on each of them that says what I think will happen with them. This morning, I said we're going to get a little pop and we need to fade the pop. And that's exactly what worked out. Now, that was a quick and easy trade for those who took it. Let me know in the comments how you did today if you took the A+ scalp setups. All right, now I'm going to talk about a stock today that is on everybody's radar because of the big news, the Buffett boomer news. He dropped billions on Google. And I'm going to break down for you why Google is the dark horse of big tech. And what does that mean? It means Google versus them all. They're competing in everyone else's lane. I'm going to break that down for you, and I'm going to give you my opinion as to whether or not today was a good day to buy some Google. Based on the new price action and the new momentum moves and the new volume that's been flooding into this particular stock, I've got a new PSMV score, and I think it's sending some signals that we can't ignore. But I want to take a step back and talk about why this stock is so hot, because it's not just Warren Buffett, but let's acknowledge that the Oracle of Omaha has taken a big position stake in this company, and he is a value investor. So if he bought the top of Google after its run for the last 3 years, then that means to a lot of people that it can continue to run. I want to take a minute and talk about why Google is better than every other big tech company, and why I would say that the leadership there is imagining one company to rule them all, because they truly are in everybody's lane. Let me break it down for you. First of all, we know that they own Waymo and that it's got way more driving hours than Tesla. So they're going after that autonomous driving. They're a competitor to Tesla. Google versus Microsoft. Google is using Gemini in Workspace plus Cloud to fight Copilot and Azure. Google versus Amazon. Google is pouring money into Google Cloud and AI data centers to steal market share from AWS. Google versus Apple. Google pushes Android and Pixel and Core apps as the flexible, non-walled alternative to Apple phones. Google versus Meta. Google leans on YouTube and Shorts and ad tools to battle Instagram, Reels, and Facebook. Google versus NVIDIA. Google builds its own TPU AI chips so big customers aren't locked into NVIDIA chips. So I think looking at all those fundamentals, this is a company that you can't afford not to own. And Warren Buffett, who's the value investor, taking a position when the stock price is already so elevated, is extremely impressive and makes us think that maybe we should be buying as well. And I imagine that some of you have been doing that today. And this stock is absolutely trending higher, but we're going to follow the charts, and I'm going to look at the PSMV score because it is cooking. This thing is been absolutely on a burner, and I have a score system for P as for price, S as in structure, M for momentum, and V as in volume, and it goes from 1 to 10, and then I take the 4 scores for each of them, and I get a collective score, and that collective score tells me how hot is this stock right now. And when it gets above an 8, right, when it gets above an 8, it means that it is dangerously close to reversal. Okay, so what is the PSMV score for Google? Well, we're looking at an 8.7 over 10. And I want to remind you that anything 8.5 and above means that it's on high watch for peaking out and hitting its top. Now, I recently, in a previous video, talked about this thing running back up between 288 and 295, and that's what we saw today. And I think that we're going to have to take a step back and understand that this is likely going to be hot through this week. It's going to come down to that macro of Does NVIDIA lift the markets, or does NVIDIA bring everything down? Because it will impact Google as well. All right, let's take a quick step back and talk about the big picture view of Google's price action. $300 is a huge psychological barrier for Google. We already came up near it once and we pulled back. And if the market goes nuts this week and everything goes in the favor of the bulls, then obviously we're going to shoot right above $300. And that's going to be a huge breakout moment, which allows Google to go into price discovery, which means that it could run very, very quickly, especially when a stock gets this hot and the candle's expanding and it's breaking out in a bullish macro environment. Then in those moments, it has the ability to move $10, $15, $20 in a 24-hour window. And so if you want to capture the essence of that full move and you're not afraid of any risk to the downside, that is the environment that Google is in. So we're watching $300 for a new breakout price discovery zone. However, if we pull back beneath 280, now remember, 280 was the last trigger that I gave you. I said that if we got above 280 this week, that we would go right back to 288, 295. Well, if we get below 280, it means that all that news that we just got, the bullishness of it, got canceled, okay? And it means that we're going to go back to 260 and 250. And that's just a brief overview of the way price action works and the way that you need to expect the term breakouts to move higher and breakdowns to give you new pivot lows, right? This is a bullish stock, and I don't see how anybody would be in a position where they wouldn't want to own some. But it's going to come down to something else that Warren Buffett has famously said, that Wall Street is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. And I'm not saying that Warren should have been more patient and waited for Google to pull back before he bought some. I'm just telling you that we need to follow those breakout and breakdown levels, and we need to recognize that the PSMV score is extended on Google, which means it's super hot, almost at 9/10, which means that the conditions are becoming parabolic and it can't get any hotter. Momentum, volume, price, structure getting broken, everything to the upside. That's typically the environment where you get the fattest returns, but it has the sharpest reversals. And so it's in danger of having a blow off top and a reversal and a period of digestion. The MACD is absolutely cooked. This is overbought, but let's take a minute, go into the chart. I want to show you a candle structure that I think is going to be important to watch through the month of November and December. Let's go look at that. The last week of October was still the most bullish week that Google has seen. Ever since we push into that price range, we sell off, we sell off, we sell off. Which simply means this: if the macro goes bullish because of a positive NVIDIA earnings event, we will blast above $300, but at that point, the momentum indicators will be cooked. I want to highlight the volume down here. None of this is particularly bullish, but we're going to jump over to the monthly chart to make my point about what is going to drive our buying interest between now and the end of the year. Let's go check that out. Okay, here we are on the monthly chart, and when we go to look at volume, what we can see is that this has been in a clear and steady accumulation phase for the last 6 months. This is a very impressive move. However, you can see that the previous 3 months, which was October, September, and August, those were the price expansion months. And ever since we've got to November, we've got what is referred to as a doji, or price compression, on a very high time frame, which means that as the price is pushed this high, it is experiencing some selling pressure. Now, the other thing that I want us to remember is that this can also, between October, November, and December, turn into a very bearish pattern called an evening star. And that's when you get a huge price expansion candle, which we've got right here, followed by a doji candle, which is Japanese for same as, which means the price opens at the beginning of the month and closes at the end of the month, roughly in the same spot. That's a compression candle, which means that price was consolidating in this range. Now, if the month of December is followed up by any type of price move that goes down, you can expect potentially a move all the way back to this support level, which was the beginning of this candle, which would be around 242. So I see support on a high time frame on this chart between 260 and 242. And I wanted to highlight those numbers because I want you to have this message today that the absolute most attractive price for the patient investor, which I guess Warren Buffett wasn't this time. Okay. The most attractive price is between 260 and 240 if the macro turns around and the market gets soft. Now, I'm going to tell you that this is going to be one that's absolutely worth playing to the upside. If the market comes out and gets favorable FOMC notes on Wednesday and NVIDIA's earnings crush it on Wednesday night, you can expect Google to continue to run. We're going to have to get that update of the expectation on what the Fed's going to do in December, because that will play just as significant of a role. So absolutely, we're going to be day trading Google this week in the stocks with Josh Discord, because it's absolutely super hot. And when it's hot, it can do incredible things in these final stage moves higher. But remember the big picture view that if this month of November, that candle stays within this range, then we have gone from expansion to compression. And the next step after that could be decline. As far as the day trading goes, this has been one that's absolutely paying out. But as far as the long-term investing goes, we need to watch it very carefully, because we might get a much more attractive price at the end of this year. I'd love to hear from you and what you guys think. Do you think Warren Buffett was right to load up now and that anyone that doesn't buy is going to get left behind? Or do you think that we could afford some patience for this stock? I will tell you that even though I am largely talking about patience on long-term investing in Google, I will tell you that I do see Google being $500 to $550 in the next couple of years. So I am bullish on the stock. I own Google long-term. Mostly this talk is about when to buy and load up on some more. Don't sleep on the Stocks with Josh Discord. We're going to be live trading in there 8 times throughout this next week, 8 live trading sessions and 5 teaching sessions. And the A+ scalp setups are there 5 days a week. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace and blessings. If you need better trading tools, check out this limited time offer from the Moomoo investment app, where you can get up to $1,000 of NVIDIA stock just for making a deposit. Plus, they're offering 8.1% APY for your uninvested cash for the first 3 months, and 4.1% after that, which is still better than most banks. So your money is actually working even when you are not trading or even looking at the app. Now, I'm going to show you guys some features that I really like about Moomoo. I've always enjoyed these features. Let's go look at them. I'm a huge fan of their earnings calendar. When a company reports, you can just tap the earnings tab to get all the important data. You're going to get the revenue, the earnings per share, as well as the latest company news all in one place. And then there are the zero commission fees on US stocks, ETFs, and options. That's not the case for every popular retail platform. Whether you trade every day or you just simply check on your investments, every once in a while, you pay no hidden fees. Check it out on their website, read the fine print for yourself, and consider whether or not Moomoo is right for you.